Dude, just go back to the other, how many shows we've done and just get any of my responses to the throw up you just did on this show. Maybe we're getting shadow banned because the YouTube algorithm hates throw up. When people ask, is everything a conspiracy? The answer is yes.
Who and what is controlling everything and why? They practice sorcery. I can't argue against magic.
I don't know what it is that we live on, but I believe it's a realm. This realm that we live in is the lowest level of heaven, highest level of hell.
Chicken snake gods and the Anunnaki and sorcery. If Sam says the chicken and snake god is running everything, I'm literally in the world of crazy. I'm winning.
You're losing. Conspiracy Social Club, a.k.a. Deep Waters. Welcome to Conspiracy Social Club, a.k.a. Deep Waters, a.k.a. Highway to the Danger Zone. Touchy subject. The #1 shadow banned show.
Are we shadow banned?
Oh, we're so shadow banned.
Really?
Yeah, we are, dude.
On YouTube?
Yeah, for
What's going
sure.
on?
Well, Sam just says the R word a bunch, and then you say, like, Sam just said something racist at the top of the show, so it hurts it a little bit, but, you know, we got to do us.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Got to do us.
Man,
I guess the
you're
R-word
sassy
catches,
today,
the
bro.
R-word catches the algorithm.
Yeah, I'm never going to say the R word again.
Yeah.
At least in the first 10 minutes.
No, it just catches it, and it just goes, we're going to not.
These algorithms, bro, not our friends at all.
Well, they're not our friends mainly because they fool you, right? Like, I liked what you said, your algorithm is lying to you.
Yeah.
It's so true. You can, and by the way, when people say that the social media favors the left, that's so ridiculous. Like, I can confirm all my right-wing bias on YouTube easily and on Instagram, actually. It's not true. I mean, it's like you can find anything you. I have a political philosophy.
Right.
I have a political philosophy.
Brian.
And YouTube and Instagram
So
can
Brian,
confirm my bias.
Brian.
And my. It can though. It does.
So you're telling me that
the algorithm shows me what I want to see.
you feel like big tech didn't do a lot of censorship on the right compared to the left, let's say going back to 2015?
I think big tech did a lot of censorship based on what the WHO, the CDC...
Okay, real quick, Brian, what were the biggest stories censored by the left?
Lab leak.
No. You're telling me that's both sides, both ways. What were the stories from the left that got censored by the social tech people?
Well, anything that has to do with COVID, okay, and the ideas of its origin, the ideas of how to
but Brian, that is from the right. I'm saying the left stories that got censored.
So what was But the left was censoring.
Right, but what you're saying that it's equal on both sides. I'm asking you,
it is not equal on both sides. It is not.
Yeah, dude.
No.
You're
legacy.
What?
No,
you're spicy.
I'm not spicy.
Wait, no. Legacy media.
He's saying that there's censorship both. I'm saying there wasn't.
No, legacy media has, and I'll give you a couple examples. Legacy media pushed Russian collusion. Legacy media pushed a lot of information about COVID that was not proven, that was not true.
China virus.
I also think
get us in trouble?
No.
I also think that legacy media doesn't report on important issues.
Right.
For example, Seymour Hersh came out and said the Americans bombed the NORAD pipeline.
Yes.
Never heard another word about it.
Right.
We know that there is more to the Hunter Biden story in terms of how he was behaving and the money he was taking, including his family, his brother, Joe Biden's brother, his son, and his other family members. We don't know what's really going on with those shell corporations.
Okay, we do know.
There's a lot of money.
We do know.
But the legacy media is not reporting on
Right.
it. We still don't know anything about this cocaine.
Right.
Okay.
I don't even believe that story,
seems to
by
be
the
a
way.
non-story.
I believe none of that. They found a baggie. I don't believe
But that's the
any of it.
other thing. You know,
Any of
this whistleblower about the aliens and they found.
I don't believe any of
Like
that.
I don't either. Like some of the stuff is just like
It's all just theater
it might be,
of smokescreen.
but it might be, and maybe that's why legacy media doesn't report on it. But I do think that there is. Let me give you an example.
I'd love to hear it, Brian.
But here's a larger thing, Sam. Here's actually a bigger issue. We are all looking over here when we should be looking over here. That's left and right. You want to talk about a conspiracy? I'll give you a conspiracy right now. The bigger issue is inflation and entitlement spending. Not a sexy thing to talk about, but the fact that we are just going to be by 2032, according to most estimates, 100% of our money is going to be spent on things like Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid. Okay. And then we'll have to either raise taxes massively or cut spending massively or both just to afford any other services that are much needed. Okay. So nobody's talking about that because we don't think ahead. Right now, the left and the right, it used to be 10 years ago, the left-right divide was this. The right would say the left is going to bankrupt the country because they spend, and they believe in big government. And the right and the left would say the right doesn't want to spend money because they don't have any compassion. They don't care about poor people. Okay, that was the debate. Now, we seem to have forgotten a big issue, which is how much is the government spending?
Yes.
And what is it going to do to our children or even us in our retirement?
Right.
Okay? Nobody talks about that at all. All we talk about is what? Gender issues, all these like.
Well, I
kinda
want to
like
get into that. Well,
all these satellite issues that are like not really that big a deal, but the algorithm, what the algorithm does is shows us crazy people over here and crazy people over here. So you got one right-wing girl saying women shouldn't vote. Oh my God! And then you have another.
She's
left-wing
hot, by
person.
the way.
Yeah. Then you have another left-wing person over here
Hurley's
saying
hot.
that children should be castrated at whatever. And we have these
She's
extreme
Viking.
examples.
So I'm with you, Brian,
Yeah.
on everything you're saying.
Are you talking about the one that looks like she churns butter?
Who, the big redhead with the big teeth?
Yes.
I'm all about that, bro.
okay.
Daddy's not pulling out.
She was
on
like
that
a
one.
D1 volleyball player or something
cool.
like that.
She's so hot. But anyways, so I'm really into everything you're saying right now, Brian. I find what you said right there is very on point. It's all about, distraction. So, recently Ice Cube's like, I'm not part of the club. And he went on, Joe Rogan, and they had this fun conversation.
Was it Rogan? That was Killer Mike. Was Ice Cube on Rogan?
No,
too?
Ice Cube was on Rogan. And so they were having this thing, and I think it was Ice Cube that he was talking to, but he's talking about how whenever any empire falls, the population becomes consumed with gender. And that's a sign that the end is near. And my pushback on that, Brian, is that I don't think people are consumed with gender right now. I think that it fits into what you're saying, the illusion that people, because there's not enough people that really give a shit about gender.
Yes.
90% of the people, 99 go through months and months without actually having a discussion on gender ever.
Right. That's right.
They're just trying to pay their bills.
That's right.
But the elites, whoever they are, I want us to have the illusion that gender is an issue when it's really not, because they're magnifying these crazy people. Like there was a famous clip one time of this like purple-haired woman out of Australia saying that people, listen to this, you're going to love this having a baby right now, that you should have to get permission from your child to change its diapers. It should have to give you some kind of verbal response that you are allowed to change its diapers. And nobody believes that because the baby's diaper's dirty. It needs to get changed. That's why babies cry for two reasons. They're hungry or their diapers are dirty. Those are the two reasons they cry. Though crying is a permission to change my diaper. But nobody believes that. But the news put that woman on to give the illusion in this kind of almost shadow in the cave kind of way.
Crazy sells. We're talking about it. It becomes a thing, and ultimately, it probably translates to dollars, right? So that's the thing.
Oh, here it is. This is it.
Let me see this.
How young are some of the children you talk to? We work from children from 3 years old. We work with parents from birth.
From birth?
Yeah. Just about how to set up a culture of consent in their homes. So.
Culture of consenting.
Now, is that okay? Of course, a baby's not going to respond, yes, Mum, that's awesome. I'd love to have my nappy changed. But if you leave a space and wait for body language and wait to make eye contact, then you're letting that child know that their response matters.
By the way, does anyone think that woman has a child?
Yeah, she doesn't. And also that hair is an example. Do you know that crazy when people are having, when they have a breakdown, women especially, but people in general, apparently, one of the things that I guess psychologists will talk about is that the first thing people do is pull their hair or do something crazy to their hair. You can see it. A very, very sad story for me. Somebody I really cared about. She killed herself, and I remember looking at her hair a long time ago before this, and I was like, and I said to her, I said, "What's going on with your hair? What is going on? It looked like a rat's nest." And she was like, "Oh, you know, ha ha ha." And I told my mother, because I was doing a scene with her in acting school class. I loved her, and beautiful too, and just great, but. And my mother said she's probably going through some kind of a breakdown. I said, no, but she seems normal. She goes, yeah, I know, she seems normal. But that's a good example. The back of her hair just looked like, she was. Anyway, brutal. Unfortunately, very sad end. But it is very common to see someone who does that to their hair. I'm not saying I have a problem, but that hair is just, that's a problem.
Time to laugh.
That hair is, that's a Hitler do. But purple, you know, there's something going on. So there's a fascistic quality to it. Right. There's this need to be.
There's something about people who get tatted everywhere as well.
Her face looks something went wrong. Something happened.
Yeah. My whole thing is like, you're an expert in whatever. What pharmaceuticals are you on? I want to know this.
Oh, that's a good question.
Can you please list, as you come on our show, what are the pharmaceuticals that you're in fact on?
That's a very good question.
Yeah, that's it. So
I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you hear that? I don't know how true this is, but antibiotics, because they mess with the bacteria in your fauna and your gut, and a lot of your serotonin is made in your gut. One course of antibiotics for a bronchial infection or for a sinus infection, whatever it might be, one course of that or a urinary tract infection can lead to a 54% increase or a 27% increase.
That's a big difference
in a depression episode.
Oh, really?
And 2 courses in a year can lead to a 54%.
You know where else that does? Ecstasy. You ever do ecstasy? The next day you're like, oh, I'm so sad.
For a week.
I'm so sad.
Yes.
My life is shit.
That happened to me with mushrooms, actually. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me, but.
So that.
What does that say?
It's like a white sheet on the.
Look at that.
You know what's very interesting, Bryan, is like when we study getting into, I don't want to say his name because I think that gets us in trouble on RFK. We'll just call him Junior, right? Who might be running Junior. Bob Jr.
Yeah.
He was talking about how we'll call it the fun sauce, right? The fun sauce. The problem with the fun sauce is that it might help you, in his words, might help you with this one thing, but it wrecks everything else. So as you're quote unquote protected against this, it opens up all this other stuff to really doing damage to you, opens up to other diseases and cancers and all that stuff. So, when you bring it up, oh, hey, I'm taking this antibiotics for this, suddenly this is out of control as well. And I wonder if that's a big part designed to do that.
Well, I don't think it's designed to do that. I think like with anything, man, it's like there's a ripple effect, right? So they always call this blowback. So you ever see Charlie Wilson's War? It's a good book.
Yeah.
So it was about how this guy said, we need to arm the Mujahideen. We need to arm the Afghanis against Soviet aggression.
Right.
But the people willing to do the fighting, they really got the craziest motherfuckers there.
Well, yeah.
And so what the CIA operatives always have a saying. They always, the guys on the ground branch guys on the ground, especially back in the 70s and the 60s, 70s, and 80s, the guys who were really, and my family knew, and I was related to some of them. And one of the things they would always use, one of the things they would always use.
Here we go.
Come on, guys.
Is I love that.
But when you live overseas the way I do, you're going to run into them. In fact,
we're at family functions.
Anytime you were in anywhere, like my friend his family owned a hotel in Mogadishu, Somalia.
Yeah,
and there was always spooks everywhere.
You know, we're just had the Callan family reunion over here in Mogadishu.
Spooks, the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But all of them would talk about this. Dude. Like there'd be a policy to come down from Washington. Okay. And it'd be a do-gooder philosophy.
Yeah.
You know? And it was so great because
you are so
Philip Seymour Hoffman did the great job.
It's unbelievable. It does not matter how long we do this show. Their intentions are always pure. It's like unbelievable.
Well, but a lot of intentions are pure, and I'm going to make an argument for it. Because it's naive. But so they go, okay, we got to help these mujahideen.
We got to help these
All
guys.
CIA operatives talk about something called blowback. And Philip Seymour Hoffman kept saying this. He kept going, we'll see. We'll see. Oh, it's a good thing. Yeah, we'll see. In other words, you don't know what your decision to put money into this problem, guns into this problem, weaponry into Ukraine, wherever it might be, you don't know what that ripple effect is going to be. Because it's impossible to predict the future, but just know it's going to have a ripple effect.
Right.
When you pass a big government bill, and you want to pass a law about, Obamacare or whatever, please understand a cottage industry is going to grow up around that. When you want to do ethanol and put it in cars, know this, an entire cottage industry is going to grow up around it because there's a lot of money involved. And then you're going to have a lobbying effort to keep that in place regardless. Alpaca wool. Do you know what that's about? Of course you don't. Well, alpaca farmers... In the 50s, in the Korean War, it was very cold. We decided we had to put alpaca into the uniforms of soldiers. Well, we're still doing it. We don't need alpaca in a lot of the uniforms, but we were subsidizing alpaca farmers.
Yeah.
And once you start subsidizing an alpaca farmer, it's going to take you about 20 years, 30 years to stop subsidizing alpaca farmers.
You know what they do with like jet fighters? They get each piece of that plane is made in a different part of a different state. So you have like 50 pieces coming from 50 states.
Right.
So it makes it impossible for them to want to stop buying that plane.
Yeah, because
you're like, well, you're going to cost jobs over here.
Yeah, your constituents depend on that. I told you I had that conversation with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It blew my mind. He was like, we have a water problem. Just take the waters. It was, I was doing ride along.
Bohemian Globe?
No, I was doing ride along.
Globe where he sucked off a bunch of guys?
No, he was doing a movie.
Go, I'll be back. Go.
He doesn't do that.
Yeah, he did.
And he's never done
There's a video of him just,
He doesn't.
go. Just like a 1920s phone operator. Hello.
He has never walrus cocks in his life.
What?
They call that the walrus, and he's never done that.
He's still, dude. There's a video of him out there doing it.
Don't ever say that.
Yeah,
I can't find.
He's as straight as
there.
anyone.
I can't find.
Oh, you can't find that video? That's so crazy.
It's deep on the internet.
Go on.
Deep on the internet.
It's actually not. It's an animated video. Somebody was there and they sketched it. It's not actual video, but somebody had an easel with a beret and they painted it. It's actually a painting. If you could just look up, it's on Sam Tripoli's wall.
Schwarzenegger's Last Supper.
Sam Tripoli's wall,
feeding
splattered with cum.
Meat.
It's splattered. Sam jacks off to it. It's Sam's jack off wall. It's on Sam's jack off wall. That and NASA. All right.
Do we have stuff to talk about, or am I going to hear about more Bryan Callen family functions?
Well, I'm just saying that the fundamental difference between fundamental difference between Sam Tripoli and Bryan Callen. Bryan Callen understands that the world has so many moving parts and all kinds of trade-offs and ripple effects that no one can be in ultimate control of anything. And then when they try, it always grows too big to control. It always becomes too complicated. Tributaries always form, and you can't stop the splintering.
Okay.
Sam seems to think that there's a small group of people that can stop the tributaries, stop the splintering, and controls everything. Sam seems to believe that somebody out there is holding the strings.
Oh my
And his name is the
God,
Black Pope,
Bryan.
the Gray Pope, and the White Pope.
Yeah,
Please
but they
understand
don't
when he
even- I
starts
don't even
talking
think
about
they run
that,
anything anymore.
that it doesn't work. And he also believes in dark arts, i.e. magic.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you that doesn't exist either.
Bryan, you're ridiculous. Anyway, I mean, like, dude, just go back to the other, how many shows we've done and just get any of my responses to the throw up you just did on this show. Maybe we're getting shadow banned because the YouTube algorithm hates throw up, where you just all over everything.
Your Honor.
Yeah.
That is not an effective rebuttal. That is an actual. He's referring to my words as puke.
Bryan just did the reverse Rod Stewart. You remember where they had to pump his stomach full of man sauce? He just
Your Honor,
threw up man
he's
sauce all
spreading
over the
rumors about all kinds of straight celebrities. You can't turn.
You have cards in front of you.
Hey, don't stop encouraging it.
This shit.
All right, dude, I'm on notice. I'm on notice.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a lot to talk about.
A lot of stuff
I want
to
to get
talk
into. I want to hear Bryan spin this. So when Jennifer Psaki or whatever her name is,
Jen Psaki, yeah.
Jen Psaki was press secretary.
Yes.
She was talking about how if Russia uses cluster bombs, that would be seen as a war crime.
Yeah.
Joe Biden now wants to send cluster bombs to the Ukraine. What are your thoughts on that, Spin Doctor?
Well, cluster munitions, I don't know enough about. I thought they were illegal under Geneva Conventions.
They are, Bryan.
Can you look up what cluster you mean? But I know that cluster munitions, I believe you drop the bomb and they have a kill radius of 100 yards because they spread out.
Right.
So they're very effective and very deadly.
So
I think cluster munitions aren't allowed to be used against civilians.
yes, I think you're right,
But
Bryan.
against soldiers, they are allowed. And they're pretty horrible.
Yes.
I look, war is a very, very nasty business. And I liked what Donald Trump said.
Bryan, are we in war?
Well, I liked what Donald Trump said. I want to stop the killing.
Right. But are we in war, Bryan? Should we be sending bombs that are considered war crimes after this administration said if the other people use them, it's a war crime? Do you think that we should be sending? It's a very simple question. Do you believe we should send cluster bombs to the Ukraine? Answer. What?
Well, here's what I think. Here, I support.
Bryan.
I support.
The answer is very simple. No, we should not.
Sam, we are gonna. We are. The Ukraine has a chance to win this war.
Bryan, the Ukraine has no chance of winning this war. No, Bryan. No,
Sam,
no,
you're
no,
speaking
no.
again out of
Please
your
stop.
ass. No, but Sam,
Please
you
reverse
can't-
Rod Stewart again. Please stop.
Don't Jim Carrey this and pull your ass open and start talking.
Yeah.
Because you're talking.
What are you
literally out of
talking?
your asshole.
The Ukraine has no chance of winning this. None.
The Russians are in serious trouble,
Bryan, what algorithm are you listening to?
and the Ukrainians are actually holding them off. And Russia has some major problems because there are these internal mutinies and divisions, and they need Prigozhin's army.
I am
which is
going
the
to
Wagner
time right
mercenaries.
now how much of my life you're taking. I'm going to time this right now. I am running this. You are taking my precious time
And
now with the most ridiculous thing.
I think that the Ukrainians will be able to stop this aggression.
15 seconds, gone.
Was Russia in the wrong to invade Ukraine? Yay or nay, Sam?
The people of Donbass want to be back with Russia.
Sam?
30 seconds, gone. I will never get this 30 seconds back.
Sam, did Russia invade a sovereign
When I'm on my deathbed and I'm going through my greatest moments of my life, there's just going to be this fucking 45 seconds of just darkness that I'm just going to pass through.
Did Russia invade a sovereign country, and do the Ukrainians want Russia there?
The area of the Ukraine wants to be back part of Russia. They voted on it. They want to be back part of Russia.
Where, the Crimea?
Yes, they want to be back part. And all the biolabs and the fact that Lindsey Graham's queen ass, that queen is, and where every time she opens her mouth, a purse falls out.
Sam.
What?
Sam, let him not.
Sam.
What?
I mean,
He's a queen.
Stop him.
What?
He can't turn everybody into a power bottom. I'm going to give him a red.
Lindsey Graham is a queen. Every time she opens her mouth, a purse falls out.
That's a double yellow. You're on a 30-second timeout.
Yes.
Unfortunately, now Bryan can deliver a bit of a monologue.
Here's the bottom line. The Ukrainians were a sovereign country. Russia has, in the past 10 years, I think, 12 years, invaded 9 different countries, and they've never been stopped. Ask the Belarusians or anybody else how they feel about Russian influence, including the Chechenis. Russia is an imperialistic country that comes in and controls things, and
10 seconds.
They are being bled dry on the battlefield, and it is an ability for Ukraine. Ukraine can win with American support and European support.
Time's up.
I mean, that is another 30 seconds I will never get back in my life.
You talked to him about Abraxas, and you know, I'm sure.
When was the last time I talked about Abraxas?
I don't know.
It's been like months, if not years. I've never talked about in years because there's actually real stuff I can get into right now that's happening right now. And you just said something that every single military person, the Pentagon's own papers have said this is a lost war. No. The Ukraine can never. Bryan, what is being talked about at your family reunions? What is going on there? What are the vampires talking about?
That the Russians,
Nazi vampires.
That the Russians are being bled dry. That
by
the
who?
Russians have serious problems restocking their munitions. Morale is
Biden even said out loud they're running out of ammunition.
The Russians.
No, the Ukrainians.
The Russians are having a really hard
time. Brian, nobody believes what you're saying.
Very hard time getting equipment, and they are really, really anemic in their response, their military response. And who can blame them when they have the American and European weapons machine feeding them. Poor Russians. Poor Putin. Poor Prigozhin. Poor
Dude,
Wagner.
what war pig jack-off websites are you going to where you're just beating off to this
war pig?
Yeah. Well, oh, God. Oh, Ukraine.
Don't do it backwards.
Come on. Ukraine.
I don't do it this way.
Ukraine.
Your Honor, I don't know how I would even do
What are you talking about, Bryan?
I would just give
Bryan,
you
let's move on because Bryan is, I can't argue with delusional. You can't argue with delusional.
Okay, well.
Sam, do you think that Russia's winning that war?
Yes.
Can you give me some stats on this?
No, let's move on. Please.
Well, you can't
There's
just say
so much
something.
actually to talk about.
You can't just
the
say.
fact that this guy is even remotely okay with cluster bombs is just a sad state.
I'm not okay with any of it.
You are. You just said it. You're okay with
we're
it.
Such a
Under
nasty
what
business.
circumstances?
Well, no. What about so? Are you okay with a daisy cutter? Are you okay with what?
Brian,
I don't know
make
enough
no
about
doubts
these
about. I'm
munitions.
anti-war. I make no illusions
That's
of
fair.
it. And what I'm really against is us getting involved in wars that have nothing to do with us getting attacked. I'm against policing the world. I'm over it.
I get it.
I'm over it.
You
dude.
might be right.
All these people talking about Ukraine, the head of the EU, Lindsey Graham. You and your entire family should go on the front lines and fight.
Yeah.
That all you war pigs that go to warpigsjackoffsite.com, okay, go and fucking fight this war that you are so passionate about.
Well, you know, you could have said the same thing about Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yep.
And you would have been right about Iraq, I think.
Yep.
Looking
And
back on it,
Afghanistan.
Iraq was a huge mistake. Afghanistan, we could have kept. We could have worked with the Taliban to get the Al Qaeda out of there, and they were happy to do it. But instead, we didn't, and we were there for 20 years. So
Right, because we wanted to take the
and there's a
poppy
lot of
fields.
money in this. There's
We
a lot
wanted
of
to take the
waste in
poppy
this.
fields.
You guys are both incorrect.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, no. You guys are both wrong. No one's winning, but in terms of what the stated goals are, it's much easier for Russia to obtain their stated goal.
Yeah. The Ukraine is going to fall. Zelensky will eventually, like all these puppets, be taken out.
But that's,
and it's done. It's over.
Yeah,
Wrap it up.
That's not.
Wrap it up.
That's not accurate.
So all those Ukrainian refugees, they should just stay out of their country and just let Russia take them over?
Hey, Brian, listen to me, man. I do not enjoy what is happening to Ukraine. This is not anti.
Do you blame Russia for that?
No, I blame NATO for it. I blame NATO and the U.S. government for their biolabs they put all over that place.
Russia was
and
justified
NATO
and
Lindsey Graham wanting to go. Let's vote Ukraine.
So Russia was. So you're getting.
I'm not going to cut to you.
I'm going to give him a red. I'm going to give him a red.
No. You can't give him a red card.
Okay, but listen, Sam, you're saying that somehow you're against war, but Russia seemed to have gone in there with their tanks and armies.
Brian,
and we
you
had,
are so
and we had
cute.
Europeans living in basements.
Oh my God,
and we had Europeans leaving the country.
You are so naive.
Oh, so
Brian.
what did Russia do?
Bro.
Russia didn't invade with tanks.
Yeah,
and with armies.
Why, Brian? Why did they invade?
So you're excusing military.
Why did they invade, Brian?
Because they wanted access to those ports.
No, Brian, they invaded because of two reasons. The Ukraine was trying to get into NATO, and biolabs on their fucking border, and ethnic cleansing of the Russian population of Ukraine. Those are the three reasons they went in.
There's the ports, though.
Fine, throw ports in there as well. I don't give a shit.
Do you go to Putin.com? Is that what you... No, I'm just curious. You go to Putin?
It's Putin.
Do you go to Putin?
You go to Putin.
Do you go to Putin.com?
Yeah.
Do you do
Brian.
I really wonder at times if you are fluent in Russian. I really do. Because you might be Russian Armenian.
You are so hilarious.
And I don't know a lot about your background.
Armenian.
Your background is very sketchy to me. You say you're from upstate New York. I've never heard one area you're actually from.
Right.
And I heard you talking to your mother, and I swear to God,
come from Masters of Mankind. What are you talking about?
Your mother was talking like this. Your mother said this. I heard this, and I want everybody to know this. Sam was talking to his mom. He goes, "Okay, Mom," and she goes, "Dimitri, call me more, Dimitri." And I was like, "What, Dimitri? Why you don't call me? I miss you. And I was like, this fucking guy is clearly a Russian plant. And I would like to really honestly take a look at your papers. And
I have no papers.
How fucking interesting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, can we get
You smell like vodka.
Can we get something else?
Yeah,
Can we get this Jonah Hill stuff? Let's mix it up. Let's make it fun.
You want to talk about the Jonah Hill stuff, or you want to talk
depresses
about
me.
weather control?
Oh, yeah, let's get into weather control.
All right, let's see. Because it's a tie ball game right now.
It's not a tie. It's not even close.
I'm crushing.
It's not even close. You're like that one MMA judge that totally scores it wrong.
Sam might be morally right, but I'm strategically and rationally
Oh, I
correct.
love that.
Well, there
I
we
love
go.
that there's
Tie ball game.
anything other than morally right.
Yeah.
Like there's anything other side. Okay, here we go. Brian, I can't wait to hear Brian dismiss this. Here we go. This is going to be fun.
The government has created weather tampering techniques so that the, quote, New World Order will be able to starve millions of Americans.
Worldwide.
Millions of Americans, and to control the rest.
Yes, sir, and that's my belief. As bizarre as that sounds, if somebody had told me that equipment even existed 10 years ago, I would have thought they were nuts, sir. And at this point in time, we have all the documents to prove it. And if you think that 85 tornadoes takes place in the middle of our growing area by simultaneous accident, I'm sorry. With the equipment that's already set up internationally, and as bizarre as that is, it is proven and documented. We will supply you with those documents. As bizarre as that is, I would say that weather wars, and this is quoting actually Senator Claiborne Pell himself, that they are the greatest weapon ever created in the world, and that's the senator's own statement. So yes, I do stand on that.
Who is that cuckoo bird?
Oh my God, bro.
Honestly, who's that?
Oh my
bird,
God.
and where is that from?
Gaslight lately,
No,
buddy?
that guy.
Gaslighter?
Well, who is that guy? Where are the
Hi,
papers?
Gaslighter.
Where are the papers?
Oh my God, I'm surprised you're not on the show.
Wait, Sam, where are the papers? Who is that? Do you know who that
The
is?
guy's under oath. He can't lie under oath.
He
Brian.
should. Oh, hold on. Sam, you just watched a clip.
Bryan, are you on
of
this
a guy.
new season of
Do you
The
know who that
Boys
is?
on Amazon? Are you get the Gaslighter?
Do you know who
that
that
what you
is? Do you know who that guy is?
That guy is a guy who's done deep research into.
He's done deep
Yeah.
research. What's his name?
Bryan.
What's his name?
Bryan.
What's his name?
Okay, will you look up
What's his background? Where's that
Brennan?
background? No.
CFR, or what we call the Callan family reunion. CFR.
We can't stay on that
No,
ridiculous.
we're going to. Where Brennan, the former CIA, talks about basically weather manipulation.
Sam, are you talking about seeding clouds?
Yes.
We've been doing that since the 50s to make sure that we get water
What's going on here?
Well, I love that you sent that clip because you're right a lot, but this was a beautiful ambush by your own sword. You know?
What?
The person in that video is none other than Norman Olson,
Yeah.
who is a non-commissioned U.S. Air Force officer who
Okay.
founded the Michigan Militia Corps
Okay.
in the early 90s.
All right.
And believes that the Japanese were responsible for Timothy McVeigh's crimes.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry.
So, Sam,
I'm sorry,
were the
straw man.
Japanese- were
I got
the-
straw man and the gaslighter over here.
Sam,
Welcome to my new
so we
show,
gotta-
straw man and the gaslighter.
Sam, you see
That's
how
what
quick-
we do.
see how
What
quick
do you
you-
guys just go around just fucking murking guys?
You're willing,
making
yes,
them feel
yes.
like they're idiots.
Yes, Sam.
Well, hi man, welcome to straw man and the gaslighter.
Well-
we just drive around the countryside and fucking light up people.
Well, we wanted to just
Feel
prove how quickly
they're
you'll
mentally-
agree with anybody who confirms your bias, Sam. And Sam,
Bryan!
that guy, so admit that guy's crazy and admit you got fucking leveled. Oh,
I'm not gonna.
let's do this. Unless you want to say that the Japanese were controlling Timothy McVeigh.
You never. Hey, by the
You
way,
never what?
By the way, guys, did you know that the Japanese actually dropped a bomb on mainland America during World War II?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was in Nebraska. They dropped the bomb.
Now, there is a little bit of merit here to what Sam and this psycho from Michigan are talking about.
Oh, dude.
Because there is a program known as HAARP. Bryan, are you familiar with?
I know there's a HAARP beer that probably is no longer around.
What?
No, that's not.
And I know harps are what angels play, and that's all I know.
Bryan, I would agree with you. That's literally all you know.
Okay. I mean, what a burn. Unbelievable burn.
It's a good burn. It's a good burn.
Yeah. See, Bryan, that's called a weather manipulator. All right?
High Frequency Active or Auroral Research Program. Okay.
Yeah. I'll just sit here
okay.
and scroll Twitter for a little while.
Yeah, and
Well, it's a program, it's a funded research body into manipulation of the ionosphere, which is kind of the top-down Jenga piece you need to pull out to manipulate the weather. So actually, Sam wins in a really bizarre kind
Yeah.
usual suspects
Yeah.
type twist.
Sam wins.
Yeah.
Where's the shock on your face? That shock says to me you
Sam
weren't
does not
listening
win.
and you don't know what
Sam does
we're
not
actually
win.
talking
We
about
have-
right now. Okay, Bryan, will you just tell us all? You zoned out and you didn't listen to a word he said, and all you heard was Sam's winning, and you're just
No, I was just
You just zoned
looking
out.
I was looking at how we're working on ways to get carbon out of the atmosphere.
Okay.
We're working on ways
Oh my God,
to
Bryan.
get clouds, more
That was
moisture in
so
clouds.
funny.
We're working on all
That might be
these
the
things.
funniest moment of Conspiracy Social Club.
Science.
Bryan gets caught daydreaming and
No.
not listening, and now he's
Science is
scrambling.
science. By the way, I've been spacing all day.
Bryan, this was like a moment of like, this was your quantum leap. You just literally showed up in the thing, and you're trying to figure out what the fuck is just happening.
have you ever woken up and felt like your head was white noise?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I
Yes.
felt. I don't think I've been sleeping enough.
Why don't you sleep, Bryan?
'Cause I woke up at 2:00 my time yesterday to get on a plane. and
Oh,
come
that's the
home.
worst.
Yeah.
Who books your flights? Kid
Well,
Dynamite?
Me, but I had to get out of Greensville because it was either 7 a.m. or like 4 p.m.
Yeah, the worst.
Pain in the ass.
The worst.
Okay. Jonah Hill?
Yes. Let's get into some Jonah Hill. So
This is a bummer.
So have you seen this?
She's an asshole. That girl's an
So
asshole.
what's happening is Jonah Hill, who by all accounts is one of the biggest movie stars on planet
He's
Earth,
also awesome.
right? And he's been on this kind of spiritual journey in his life. I don't know him personally. I'm not going to sit here
He's a sweetheart.
and say that he is, I don't know him as a person. So he was dating this, but by all accounts, a very attractive pro surfer. And she had been posting some pictures of her in bikinis on her social media. And Jonah Hill was like, hey, man, if we're going to date, I'm not down with that stuff. And now all of the feminists in the world are trying to say he's toxic and controlling and all this stuff. And it's just hilarious. And this gets into my theory, and this is where I'm going to lose Bryan. It's my theory that women have no clue of social hierarchy. Because a woman looks good in jeans, she will walk in, and no matter who's in the room, it could be Michael Jordan, Chris Rock.
Gets attention.
She's like, I'm totally on your level. Even though it's like this famous picture I saw. It was Jay-Z, Beyonce, Kanye West, and Kim Kardashian. They're like, sold 1 million records, 1 billion Grammys, sold 1 billion, made a sex tape. And like they were all sitting at the same place. And, I have daughters. I want them to believe and love themselves when they get to a certain age. I want them to have the most love and respect. But men, if we're all in a room, men instantly know who the alpha male is. And we all kind of like follow the leader in that sense. If we were all in a room and Rogan or Dave Chappelle walks in, we know who the alpha is.
Men respond to power, capability. Capability is a big part of it, right? When somebody is outstanding at what they do, incredibly capable, important, significant, it makes them significant. It makes them powerful. Right. It makes them an authority figure. By that I mean the person you look to for guidance, the person you look to as an example of what to be.
Right.
Men don't need to talk. Men don't need to be, they don't need therapy to figure out their feelings. Men have no problem going through hell.
Well, there's a bunch of beta men who do go to a bunch of therapy.
Those men,
and I'm not against therapy, even though I don't go to it. I go to my own kind of therapy, which is recovery. These meetings I go to, they're a form of therapy, which is
but Sam, I'm saying those men. A lot of those beta men need to get good at something. They've never had a victory in their life. They need to get good at a sport, at an instrument, anything that makes them feel capable, makes them feel good. Even if they join the Marines.
What you're talking about is purpose. They need a purpose.
Yeah, they need purpose and meaning.
Yeah,
that'll solve a lot of your stupid psychological
100%
masturbation.
100%.
And instead, all you have is, hey, what about me? I'm a victim. Fuck you.
Well, it's like this is like a big thing on YouTube. I call it Black YouTube, where it's like this section of YouTube where it's black content creators just checking feminists left and right. And the one thing that we see in modern society is this understanding of like that a relationship is about meeting kind of in the middle. And working together in a yin and a yang type of way. And what's happening is like on both sides, there's a lot of people that don't want to do that. And this notion of like, you take me for who I am. Well, you're like, well, there's a reason why you're single, whatever age you are, with 1,000 cats, because you don't understand that you have to present yourself as this is what I bring to a relationship and not like, what are you going to do for me? That's not dating. Dating is like, I'm going to fulfill these needs for you, and you're going to fulfill these needs for me, and this is why we're going to be together, because we're going to complete a whole of a yin and a yang. And so much of modern dating is, especially on the female side, is like, this is me, and what are you going to do for me? And, it's like, I joke about this, but there was a time where, like, parents would have to pay you to marry their daughter. Here's money for my daughter. And you're like, now it's like, what do you do for me? Like there's this guy, Kevin Samuels, who's rest in peace, no longer with us, but he used to just have feminists on a show and he would just check them on what they think.
Who's Kevin Samuels?
He's he's passed.
Let me see his.
But he's kind of like one of the godfathers of this, like,
That's
manosphere.
him? He died?
Yeah, he died.
Oh, damn.
He died a while ago.
Really?
Not like years ago, but like a year, 2 years ago.
How did he die?
I guess that's years ago. But
how did he die?
Hatred of women clogged his
okay.
arteries.
See, this is where the communist comes in.
I think so, because he hated women too much, so it hurt his heart.
He did have some interesting, strong. I watched him several times. What did he die of? I want to know.
But the point is that he would talk to these people, and there was like women who, listen, dude, everybody's important. Everyone has the right and deserves to be loved, and you should have some self-worth. But again, like, it's just this weaponization of feminism that I just think that there's this unbalance between what everybody thinks that they should bring to a relationship and get out of the relationship. And he was very much going, no, it's not. That's not what you bring. That's not what you bring to the relationship. And I think this is a great example with Jonah Hill. Is like there's just women who think that this guy who is at the top of a profession that so many people dream of getting to, for whatever reason he got there. And I think he's a very talented. I love Jonah Hill.
A good person,
right? He's a good guy. Like, this guy has the right to demand certain things from people he want to be in a relationship with. He's what they call high value.
He was probably being honest, and he probably said, this makes me feel insecure. And, people are like, well, you're trying to control the person. But, look, can I see her? Can I see who this person is?
It's just unbelievable because you have women all the time. Like, you got to make 6 figures. You got to do this. You got to do. And you're like, why is that okay?
And this girl's a pro surfer?
Yeah. And here's my whole theory is as well. It's like, there's a law in this country that if you release like some naked pictures of your ex-girlfriend.
Okay. I can't see.
There we go.
I'm listening to you. Keep going.
It's just like, this is an example of like, to me, of how like the world, women run society. They run society.
Yeah.
But
is it good for them? And does it make them happy? That's my question.
The whole point is this, is like social media has allowed them all come together and push back in a way that men don't ever do.
Right.
And women hate each other, except for when it comes to men. Then they team up and they wage war.
Right.
And so like, there's something called revenge porn, right? Where like if you release videos of your exes, and it always is men releasing videos of their female girlfriends,
right?
That's a felony. But what we're seeing over and over again, which also I've been told is a felony as well, but it's never pursued the same way, is that we see like when it comes with Zion Williams and this adult film star releasing all these videos and threatening to release sex tapes of him, and nobody's saying anything that's negative, or the releasing of all of these DMs that Jonah Hill has sent in an attempt to discredit him and almost destroy him in a Me Too sense.
It's disgusting,
right? So it's like women have now set this precedence that if you release any naked pictures, that this is a felony, and we've created something called revenge porn laws, which I understand and respect. Yet the other way around, where it's a woman doing it to a famous man, nobody cares, and it's literally a way to blackmail people.
You know why? Because the left's narrative is this: it's all about power. That person had power. It was a power imbalance. And so when there's a power imbalance, you're the victim and he's the oppressor.
But women want to date up. There's always going to be a power. If you want to date the alphas
women
of
are
alphas,
attracted to power.
Right. So that it's just this thing where you just can't lose. And it's just this notion that
that's why the left makes no sense. You can't follow.
You know what else is very interesting?
Shit.
This notion. And women never talk about it, and we can get the wood gypsy over here to jump in.
This is fourth wave feminism.
But the notion of getting pregnant by a very powerful man for child support, like, that is an acceptable thing to do.
It's old as time. It's as old as time.
Yeah. Muhammad Ali said the hardest part of his training was dodging all the bitches.
Yeah.
He's right.
Anyways, Kevin Samuels died of a heart attack because he hated women so much. Hypertension and chest pains.
He died of misogyny?
Yes, and that it's a killer. Jonah, do you think it's odd at all that he entered into a relationship with a popular social media surfer and then said, I need you to not post pictures of you in bikinis?
It's odd. I also wonder is she's not a pro surfer. She's
an instructor.
She's just some girl who is on Instagram. She's not a professional.
I would have to know how they met.
Like, you suck.
I would have to know how they met.
Yeah, find out. Let me see a pro surfer. Let me see the best, like the top surfer females, and I want to see the waves they surf.
Which I want to get into.
That chick was surfing waves I could surf.
Then I want to get into Bryan. Have you heard this Adam 22 thing?
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, I sounds like your wet dream.
No, yeah, I have no. If you want to be kinky and you want your girl to bang other guys and you want to be involved in that, I don't care about that. It's just that you have kids, right? Do they have children?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a problem with that. I think it's
there's something
weird,
about Adam 22 that just
I
is
just
a little
don't
weird
respect
for
it,
me.
and I don't care about it. Who's that?
Stephanie Gilmore. She's the #1 ranked.
Yeah, that's a
female
badass
surfer in
right
the
there.
world.
Look at that. That's a pro surfer.
I want my kids to know how to surf.
That's a pro surfer. Look at that shit right there.
So crazy.
That is a bad.
That's so cool. I wish I could do that.
Okay. Now this poser on Instagram, whoever she is.
No, I don't even. Listen, the only problem I have with this woman that she thinks it's okay to release private communication.
My thing is, you made your private relationship with a great guy. You used it. What a surprise! You used Jonah Hill to up your profile.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Right.
What a shitty person.
And then it's like you date these alphas who are like, I'm sorry, I'm sure Jonah's a nice guy, but to be at that level of entertainment takes a focus like very few
It's
even
incredible.
understand.
It does. A discipline.
It does seem as though bikinis are not the most conducive wear for like really intense surfing.
Yeah, she sucks, that person.
Yeah, and also if we kind of sit there, it's like we're in this kind of weird place in relationships right now where like women use their attractiveness on social media. And so you're in a relationship with a guy, right? Let's say you're with a woman for 2 years. And like once you're in a relationship with someone for 2 years, like they're gorgeous, but they become just a person, right?
Yeah.
Right? And so no longer the elixir of their beauty isn't what keeps you with them. But now there's guys on social media telling her everything she wants to hear when she comes home to you. And now you're like, well, how come this isn't, or what's going on at the house? How it's a mess?
She dated Jonah Hill because she wanted more attention for herself.
No, she wanted to date an alpha.
I can't stop watching videos of this too. She's so good. I mean, look.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a real badass.
I want to do that so badly. I want to do that so badly.
Oh that's all I want to do.
Gosh,
I'm gonna learn this.
Let me see her. Bring her up.
Okay.
I was at Manhattan Beach last night, and there were pro volleyball players.
Oh my God!
And
like chicks or guys?
No, both.
Oh,
if you ever want to feel short,
Amazonians.
unathletic, and unattractive, don't hang out with those people.
Yeah, it's not good for anybody. Okay, can we get to?
That's her.
Yeah,
that's who.
Stephanie, the #1.
Oh yeah, look at her.
Badass.
So I feel like we should probably talk about Sound of Freedom a little bit.
Yes, I can't wait to see it this week. Oh no, look who got. Oh my God, you just said the thing, and watch him I'm surprised he didn't do this.
Because we have to be careful about movies and extrapolating reality from movies. That's why.
My God.
So apparently child trafficking is very serious.
Okay.
And there is a way more child pornography than our hearts can bear in the world. And I would kill all of them.
I would kill all of them.
All of them. I have fantasies of having them in like a contained area, and I have a high-powered WinMag 300. A high-powered WinMag 300.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys would use a WinMag 300, but the problem with a bolt action is I just don't like it as much as a long-barreled AR-15. I need earphones because it's very loud.
Yeah.
But I'd like a sound suppressor. I don't know if that affects my accuracy. Either way, the target practice I would take on those guys in that contained area.
By the way, so you know, just so you know, did you see that guy from Michigan State, the doctor, got stabbed over and over again in prison?
Times.
Good.
Larry Nasser. In his neck, in his chest, collapsed lung, back. That's
good.
That's what happens though when you're a child molester. Anyway, they call him a chomo.
Oh, is this?
See that?
Yeah, this is the Win Mag.
Guy's got.
The point of having a rifle. That's
not a Win Mag.
If you're not going to shoot it one-handed,
it's an AR-15. That's an M16. I don't know Win Mag. What? Might be though.
Is that Win Mag?
I don't know guns.
Well, didn't you put in Win Mag?
Yeah, and this is what came up, and then he said
that's a Win Mag 300.
Yeah, that's what he
So
said.
now you don't even know.
That's with a magazine? Yeah. Oh, wow.
Okay. But
so, Bryan, please make your completely point.
That's
hey, beep that. Write that down. Write that down.
I want that Win Mag.
Okay.
It's got good range on it.
Yeah.
And you got to read the wind, you understand? So I'm going to need a spotter.
Okay. Can I spot for you?
Spotter. Yeah. Now I get extra points for headshots. It's probably a lot of times going to be a body shot, depending on how far away I am. But it's going to be a whole bunch of dead chomos out there. That's all I got.
All right. Can we talk about the movie?
Yeah.
Not your violent fantasy.
Okay.
Well, the movie is. I don't
Thank
know.
God I never.
I don't know what the idea behind the movie is. Can you show me? Can you bring up a synopsis of the movie?
Yeah. After rescuing a boy from ruthless child traffickers, a federal Jesus.
Yeah.
Federal agent learns the boy's sister is still captive and decides to embark on a dangerous mission to save her.
So it's Taken.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay?
I like that.
All right. So what's going on though right now in the media is that the funniest thing is they're painting it like this is it. This is it. Rolling Stone, which has completely lost the narrative, been hijacked by cultural Marxists, praised cuties and just demonized Sound of Freedom. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting. And you remember that? Remember when you defended cuties back in the day, and all your friends called you up and told you? Remember that?
Damn it!
Oh, sorry. I will no longer say that anymore.
Well, the Rolling Stone. Anybody who takes Rolling Stone, that pathetic rag of a magazine, seriously, is already lost. So if you ever quote Rolling Stone to me in any context, I'll start laughing in your face because it's a terrible magazine. It used to be great, and it was taken over by a bunch of activists, not journalists, activists. So never bring up anything by Rolling Stone. They're blocked on my feed.
But what we find interesting is that the media, the legacy media, which pushed the whole Me Too movement, which asked for zero evidence of anything, it just anybody who shouted got magnified by and amplified by the legacy media, is now pushing back against this movie, calling it QAnon, which is hilarious because the movie was made way before Q came out.
Well, look, I just think it's really interesting. I'm sorry to bring this up, but I think it's really interesting that Biden had his own accusations. That went away.
Yeah.
And they sounded real credible to me.
Oh, yeah, because they're true.
And Joe Biden, America's grandpa, has a grandchild that he refuses to acknowledge. And Hunter
Let's
Biden
get into Hunter Biden and what he did with his dead brother.
Let's not. We can talk about that on Rockfin.
Okay.
Let's just not. He's going to talk about, diaries and stuff like that.
All right, YouTube.
You don't even have to go there. You can just go to the fact that Hunter Biden has a daughter he doesn't seem to want to acknowledge, and the Biden and Jill and Joe Biden have a granddaughter that they will not acknowledge, and I think that's disgusting. I think it's cruel, and I think it points to who Joe Biden actually is, what he really is about, and Jill Biden. And their son. I think they're scumbags. They're scumbags.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's my prediction, everybody. Write this down right now on this date. 6 months from now, Joe Biden will announce that he's no longer going to run for president. Write it down.
Well,
6 months from now.
That would be wise and good for
And
the
they're
country.
going to push Gavin Newsom because Camel Toe is too idiotic to actually be president. She's polling so low that they couldn't even fake the funk on
That
that.
makes sense. Yeah, she's.
All right.
No, we got to end with this.
Okay.
There's been a rise in international talks of digital currencies, and Sam's been advocating for this kind of tender for some time, but it's really, really detrimental to our freedoms.
Yeah, here we go.
Final note I will make is that if you think about the benefits of digital money, there are huge potential gains. It's not just about digital forms of physical currency. You can have programmability, units of central bank currency with expiry dates. You could have, as I argue in my book, a potentially better and...
Stop it. Real quick. Do you hear what he just said? Expiring dates.
Well, and now we get to the scariest part of the whole thing.
Might see it, or a darker world where the government decides that units of central bank money can be used to purchase some things, but not other things that it deems less desirable, like, say, ammunition or drugs or pornography or something of the sort. And that is very powerful.
Well, that's the problem with the digital world.
Yeah.
Someone's controlling it.
Yeah.
The other good thing about a digital world is no one is controlling it. So it all depends on who's in control of that digital world, right? And that's my biggest worry about lateral cooperation between tech giants who agree with the current administration, whoever they may be, and corporations. And that's where ideology seems to seep into these corporations.
Well, I'm very nervous. What I'm very nervous about is August, that this BRICS summit's going to happen, in which all these major players with a bunch of little countries are going to announce that they're going on their own international monetary system.
They won't. They're on the dollar. Nobody's going anywhere. The dollar is still strong. It's still the currency. You're not going to be able to just change that way. There's just too much trade going on with the dollar, bud.
Well,
and there just is.
So, Brian, all this talk of BRICS is just stupid.
Digital.
What?
The dollar's already digital. What's going to replace the dollar?
Brian,
yuan?
Can we have a moment real quick?
The
Brian.
yuan?
Brian, can we have a moment real quick?
You mean the
Can I ask you something, Brian? Brian, can I ask you something?
Sure.
Are you playing a character right now?
No, I'm not.
Is this called Guy with Head Up His Ass?
No. This is just called Sam doesn't understand how the world economy works, and Sam doesn't understand the dollar is not going to be replaced by your Brexit stuff.
No, not Brexit.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does matter, sure. Brian.
You're not good with names, and it probably is Brexit. Here's the thing.
It's not Brexit. It's BRICS, right?
Sam,
that's what it's called.
Sam,
that's what it's called.
Yeah. Sam, are you worried?
Gypsy, will you join me?
Sam, are you worried that the ruple's going to take over?
No, I'm worried that BRICS is going to take over.
Sam, watch out for that Jordanian dinar. Sorry, guys. Hey, guys, watch out. The Israeli shekel's coming.
Okay, that might actually happen. All right.
Wow, that big L on the way out, Sam. That was really, really silly for you to say
Dylan,
that.
Dylan, what you're doing is dangerous, okay? You're dangerous. You're dangerous. You're a French judge that refused to recognize our fucking figure skating, okay? You're dangerous. You're dangerous.
Close contest, but Bryan won today.
No, okay. If you think Bryan won, put a B in the comment section. If you think Sam won, put an S in the comment section, and let's see how it goes. Okay, Bryan, where are you going to be?
Buddy, I'm going to be at the Blue Room in Missouri.
I love that room.
Blue Room in Missouri, in Springfield, Missouri. Come see me. What is it? What are those dates? I got to change that because I'm not there Thursday. July 21 and 22. Come get some.
Sam, I have some dates this month. I have some dates in August. SamTripoli.com. There we go. Going to be putting some stuff together, trying to make it happen. Comedy Chaos tomorrow night. Big show. Jimmy Dore, Eddie Bravo, Tony Rock. Some killers. Boise, Idaho on the 28th. Ventura on the 29th.
Boise, I like it.
And then I'm going to be I'm playing an opera house.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome, buddy.
I'm playing an opera house. So we'll see how it goes. Daddy needs to make some changes in his life, but it's happening. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Listen, if you could, leave a comment for the algorithm.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Tell your friends about it. Share. We're trying to make this happen.
People love this show.
People love this show.
Really do.
We're growing. Help us grow more.
You have to flex, Dan.
When people ask, is everything a conspiracy? The answer is yes.
Who and what is controlling everything and why? They practice sorcery. I can't argue against magic.
I don't know what it is that we live on, but I believe it's a realm. This realm that we live in is the lowest level of heaven, highest level of hell.
Chicken snake gods and the Anunnaki and sorcery. If Sam says the chicken and snake god is running everything, I'm literally in the world of crazy. I'm winning.
You're losing. Conspiracy Social Club, aka Deep Waters.